All right. Audio should be fixed. Let me check right now to just confirm that my audio is fixed before we really get going. Pretty sure it should be. I think I found out what the issue is, but always better safe than sorry. Bum ba da bum ba 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 bum ba ba ba. AFC playoff picture right now. All right. Yep, that's sounding much better. Not hearing any sort of audio issues because I no longer have my desktop audio playing. That is now muted. Wonderful. Love to see it. All right. So now that I know that that is up and working. Yep, that's sounding much better. Oop. There we go. Okay, yeah. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So let's go ahead and make our drink. This is the War for the North. It is a combination of the War Street Spritz for Pittsburgh and the Maryland Mule for Baltimore. Maryland used to be actually one of the largest rye producers in the country. That's since shifted more towards Kentucky and Tennessee, but that's their historical connection. We're going to toss this drink together. We're going to build it in our shaker over a cube of ice. We're going to start off with 3/4 of an ounce of Reposado tequila. Getting down near the end of this bottle, so we'll have to see. Might need to top that off soon. Toss that in there, and then our second base spirit in this drink is going to be 3/4 of an ounce of rye. I like to use Old Overholt. It's your classic sort of like cocktail level rye, I would say. You know, like you're not getting anything crazy with it, but it's relatively cheap while still being high enough quality that it's not going to sort of like fuck up any of your drinks. Then 1/2 ounce of mezcal. I'm not a huge fan of this mezcal because it's more on that sort of like sweeter agave side of things than it is like the really heavy smoky side of things. I like my mezcals to be smoky. So it is what it is though. It's given us some of those interesting notes in there, adding a little bit of extra zhuzh to this drink. Then we're going to add 1/2 ounce of lime juice, much needed acidity to balance out all of that alcohol that we got in there. Also a carryover, of course, from the Maryland Mule. And then 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. I'm getting real low on these bitters. Gonna have to grab a new bottle soon, but for now, boop, boop. There we go. Gonna give that a little shake over here. I'm sure my neighbors love that. I'm sure that's just their favorite part of any evening. Regardless, we're going to take that, strain that into our highball glass over some ice. And finally, I got new ginger beer for this one because some people in the comments were saying that the weird sort of soapy taste that we were getting in this drink when I made it earlier might have been due to the Reed's ginger beer that I was using. So we got Gosling's this time. I think this Gosling's might actually be, I think it's a little less punchy than the Reed's that I was using, but I feel like it's got a more natural ginger flavor. I think the Reed's had a little bit of an almost artificial ginger flavor to it. I think this Gosling's is a bit more natural. So we'll see. Anyways, that is our War for the North. Let's see, are we still getting, I think we're still gonna get those soapy notes though, because I think the soapy notes are actually coming from the blend of that Reposado tequila and the rye whiskey. Let's see. Yep, honestly, very little changed in that drink between the Reeds and this Gosling's. Like, oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that late note, I definitely think, I think it's something in this Reposado tequila, honestly. I don't know exactly what it is that we're pulling out here, but there's some sort of off interaction between these two spirits that we're getting in this drink, because I've swapped out the ginger beer and it did not make a notable difference. It's still like that kind of off, kind of soapy flavor going on here. I mean, the drink as a whole, though, it certainly could be a lot worse. It is a relatively solid drink. But yeah, it's a weird little interaction that we got going on there. So certainly could be better. I think we'll see. I'll make another one of these at halftime. And when I make this second one, I might try to add a little bit of a syrup in there. I might like toss a little bit of agave syrup in there maybe. See if we can't sweeten it up and get rid of this sort of nasty off note that we've got going on there. Ooh. About 4 minutes away from kickoff now for our final Week 18 game, final regular season game of this 2025 season. And we got a big one to end it on, you know, battle for the last remaining spot in the AFC. We'll see if it'll go to the Steelers or the Ravens. Rivalry as old as football right there. Not actually as old as football, but you know what I mean. A true classic AFC North rivalry. Collinsworth up there, yapping away in the booth, as he is wont to do. Be interesting to see. It looks like the weather conditions are not great out there in Pittsburgh. It's looking really kind of cloudy, foggy in the background. Let's see, what's the weather actually like? Okay, it doesn't say it's raining, so I think it might be, I don't know, it might just be something weird visual trick of the cameras, but one thing's for certain, and it is cold out there in Pittsburgh. I believe it's like 20-something degrees out there right now. It is going to be a cold Sunday night football game, battling out for the AFC North, and I know these teams would have it no other way. Got to get our first commercial break in before this game starts. I feel like between Ricky Pearsall and Keon Coleman, those Fanatics ads really love showing off players who just don't play this season. It seems to be the trend in which players pop up in those ads. Experimented around with my lighting a little bit. I finally put batteries in the remote that controls my big fill light. So what I can do now is I can adjust the color of it. So I can move there we go. I can increase the temperature if I want it to be like whiter and bluer light. And then I can also drop it back down to give us more of a sort of, you know, chill, warm orange glow. So I think that's where I'm going to keep it right now. We'll see. How's that actually coming through on stream? Yeah, definitely looks better when it's a bit warmer on the light source, which is what I figured. All right, we're finally back from ad. Previewing Super Bowl 60 this year, huh? All right. Acrisure Stadium here in Pittsburgh for our wonderful AFC North matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yep, cold and dry is what it looks like down there on the sideline. Going to be interesting to see. I think one of the main points that we're going to have to watch for in this game is does Harbaugh remember that Derrick Henry exists or not? He has shown that he is absolutely willing to completely forget that he has one of the best running backs in the NFL on his roster. We'll see. If he remembers that Derrick Henry exists and is good and continues to feed him, I think, we could see a lot of success with the Ravens' run game here. Obviously, they're showing Lamar right now, and he hasn't been quite himself since he's been, knocked up and injured. That's definitely slowed his mobility a little bit. Steelers have TJ Watt back. That's going to be a huge boost for their defense. So, Ravens really going to need to get the run game going in this cold weather game. Otherwise, it could be a long, hard slog trying to throw this ball through the air, letting TJ Watt tee off against you constantly. Previewing the AFC playoffs right now. This game, obviously, to decide who wins the AFC North and makes it in. 2 teams enter, 1 team leaves. Patriots got the number 2 seed. Broncos locked up the 1 seed with their win over the Chargers earlier today. So they will get the first round bye. There you go. John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin. Two coaches who have been coaching this game for not quite as long as I've been alive, but pretty close. Boswell getting ready to kick this one off. Kick is off, and we are underway here in Pittsburgh for the last game of the Week 18 regular season. Ravens return it out to the 20, 25, 30, out to about the 35 before he's dragged down. But wait, there's a flag on the play. We got laundry. That was Keaton Mitchell on the return for Baltimore. Sean Smith, referee, coming out to tell us what it is. Holding on the receiving team, so that's going to back up that really strong return a little bit. We'll see where exactly that spots the Ravens. Oh shit, Ricard made the Pro Bowl. Love that the Ravens still use a fullback. It's, really gone out of fashion with modern NFL offenses, but I love a fullback. Who doesn't love a fullback, All right, so Ravens on their own 15-yard line after that penalty. Lamar Jackson in shotgun to start off with. Got Ricard to his right, takes a snap, hands it off to Henry, who's trying the right side, got blocking, going to get downfield past the 30, 35-40, 45-50, 45-40, and finally knocked out of bounds is Derrick Henry. An incredible opening run to get this started, but wait, there is another flag, and we might be seeing this one coming on back. You can't have nice things, I guess. Let's see, what's the call? What's the call from the refs? Personal foul. It's going to be an illegal block on Zay Flowers for that one. Zay Flowers is upset. He is absolutely livid. What happened? Zay Flowers wasn't even anywhere close to the action on that play. Where'd his illegal block come in? Huh? That was called an illegal block. The softest shoulder elbow from even with him. That is a crazy call right there. All right, well, the Zebras are putting in work early in this game. They are making their presence felt. All right, so still a very good run. Ravens out to the 41 now. Going to hand it back off to Henry, who's going to pick up about 3 more yards on his second carry. So Ravens on their own 44 now, as opposed to being in Steelers territory. Still a strong run. Still got the offense moving, but that penalty pushed them back pretty far. Anyways, with that short run on first down, that's going to bring up second down now for Baltimore. Lamar in shotgun, Henry to his left. Lamar takes a snap, fakes the handoff, swings it out to the left side. The tight end is going to pick up about 5 or 6 yards. That's going to be likely on the catch, and that is going to bring up third and short for the Ravens. 13, 48, 47, 46, 45 left to go in this first quarter. Just make sure, yeah, audio should still be good. I'm not seeing anything else coming up on the audio. So 3rd and 1 is what they're going to call it for the Ravens. Baltimore in shotgun. Henry to his right. Lamar takes a snap, fakes the handoff, going to keep it himself, rolling out right side, and he's going to pick up the first down plus a little bit extra. That is going to be a Baltimore first down. So the Ravens keep the chains moving here. Get themselves another 1st and 10. Just that classic little shotgun QB read right there that the Ravens love to run. That was 29. There was a Steelers defender there ready to make a play on Lamar, but Lamar just showed a little bit of that twitchiness, a little bit of that quickness. He hasn't completely lost it. Picked up that first down. So that's going to be Lamar under center. Takes a snap, hands it off to Henry, who gets hit basically as soon as he reached the line of scrimmage. Going to pick up all of about 1, maybe 2 yards on that one. This is going to bring up 2nd and long for the Ravens. All right. Baltimore in shotgun. Lamar takes a snap, looking, throwing quickly. And that is going to be caught by Mark Andrews for about 5 yards. Going to set up 3rd and short for the Ravens once more, this time in Pittsburgh territory. Todd Monken up there calling plays for Baltimore. Terrell Austin, the Steelers DC. So it's 3rd and 3 for Baltimore. Lamar under center for this one. Ali in the backfield. Lamar takes a snap, hands it off. Ali going to get met at the line, going absolutely nowhere. That is going to bring up 4th and 3 for Baltimore, and I have to imagine they're going to send out the kicking unit. Yeah, it was Benton on the stop on that one. Just sort of shucked the center past him, got some penetration, closed that gap up real quick. Stop that for 0 gain. No, okay, Ravens are showing at least that they're going for it. Got Lamar in shotgun, bunched to the top of your screen. Lamar motions a receiver. Lamar takes a snap, dropping back. Steelers bringing pressure. Lamar floats it over the middle, and that is going to be caught wide open. Number 81, Walker. That is going to be a Ravens touchdown to get us started. Baltimore gets on the board first. Steelers brought an all-out blitz. Ravens, bought enough time up front with their offensive line, floated that one over the middle, and that was just a nice, easy touchdown right there for Baltimore on a huge 4th down. Yeah, just cleanly outran his man, outran Jalen Ramsey, strolled on in for a touchdown. Extra point is up, and it is good, and that is going to make this a 7-0 game. So the Ravens go for it on 4th down and score on their opening drive. Gutsy call there early by Harbaugh, but the aggression pays off, and we have a game. I'm going to move this ball over before I forget. And now, commercial break. Ah, yes, it's the shitty AI-generated progressive ad. Wonderful. Nothing screams quality company like that company being unwilling to pay for advertising. I do think, I mean, we're already kind of there, but I do think, especially as time goes on, we're going to see it be the case where basically you can tell if a company is high quality or not based on whether they actually bother getting animators and actors to do their own fucking commercials. You know, you certainly already see it on places like, you know, Amazon, other online marketplaces where it's like, if all of the pictures for your product on that marketplace are AI-generated images of your product, I'm not going to trust you to deliver me a good product. You know, to a certain extent, the advertisements are just an extension of that. Harbaugh and Tomlin, two coaches with a whole bunch of history. '18th and 19th seasons respectively. All right, so Loop back to kick this one off for Baltimore. Sends this kick away, and it's going to be caught at about the 5-yard line or turned out to the 15, to the 20, 25, 30, 35, and then finally dragged down just past the 35. That was Jalen Warren on the return for Steelers. They're going to get the ball with pretty decent field position, honestly. Showing the replay of that. Yeah, Steelers brought 6 on that blitz. They dropped one of the blitzers off a little bit late, but that meant there was nobody deep to stop that touchdown. Just a simple post route, cleanly outran Jalen Ramsey. Easy little pitch and catch touchdown. All right, so Rodgers under center for this first snap of the Steelers drive. Warren in the backfield. Rodgers takes the snap, fakes the handoff, dumps it off quickly to Warren for the screen, but he's going to get dragged down basically instantly. Gain of about 2, but it looks like there might have been a hold or a face mask or some sort of penalty on that one. Refs threw a flag. Let's see what it is. Yeah, face mask. Robinson just got Warren right by the grill. Honestly, he actually did a pretty good job at not latching around the face mask, but it was one of the ones where it certainly looked like a face mask, so refs are going to call that. So that will gift the Steelers with a free set of downs and get them, past midfield already. So between the good return and that penalty, Steelers are already in Baltimore territory. Rodgers in shotgun this time. Takes a snap, fakes the handoff, swings it out right to Warren, who is going to be met in the backfield, brought down for a loss of 2, maybe 3 yards on that one. And that is going to bring up 2nd and long for Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh on the 47-yard line now, 2nd and 11. Rodgers in shotgun, back line up to his right. Rodgers takes a snap, looking under pressure, tosses this one away, and that is going to bring up 3rd and 11 for the Steelers offense. Steelers offense looking pretty disjointed to start this game. Just haven't seemed to be able to find a rhythm so far yet. They got that big penalty, which certainly helped a lot, but besides that big penalty, it's been, loss of 2 and an incompletion. So big 3rd and 11 right here. From the 47-yard line, Rodgers changing the play, alone in shotgun. Whoop. Ravens jumped, but managed to recover back on sides in time. Rodgers takes the snap, looking, throwing deep right side. And that was almost intercepted by Nate Wiggins. Ended up dropping that one, but honestly might have been for the best because Ravens would have gotten the ball at like the 2 or 3 yard line. That is going to bring up 4th and 11 for the Steelers, and they're going to send out the punting unit. So the Ravens defense gets a big first stop after scoring a touchdown their opening drive. With 9:31 left to go in this first quarter. LaJohntay Wester back to return it for the Ravens. Waitman punting for the Steelers. Snap is away. Punt is off. And Wester calling for a fair catch, and is going to fair catch that one at about the 13-yard line. So yeah, Ravens get the ball with much better field position than if Wiggins had actually caught that interception. So a little bit of a blessing in disguise, mayhaps, as we go to commercial with 9:25 left to go in this first quarter. Whew. Oh. All right, so still certainly too early to be saying anything sort of conclusive about this game, but ESPN certainly likes Baltimore's chances after seeing that initial drive. They've got them at a 75% win probability right now. So far, Baltimore has 100 total yards. The Steelers have 1 singular yard. Certainly not the numbers you want to be putting up. All right, so Ravens going to get this ball back on their own 13-yard line. Looks like it's actually a pretty mixed crowd there in Pittsburgh tonight. Certainly, Steelers fans are the majority, but there's a lot of purple in the stands as well. The flock is making its presence felt. All right, so 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Lamar under center, back in the backfield, takes a snap, pitches it to the back, who is going to get a little bit of blocking, but that is going to be Derrick Henry out to about the 15-yard line, gain of about 1. Going to bring up 2nd and 9 for the Ravens. Hayward on the stop on that one. Excellent job flowing with that run, getting a little bit of penetration, and then dragging down Derrick Henry before he could really get a head of steam going. All right, Lamar in shotgun on 2nd down. Back lined up to his right. Lamar takes a snap, hands it off to Henry, who's going right up the middle and is going to fall forwards for about 8 yards. That's going to bring up 3rd and 1 for the Ravens now. Shot right through that hole and just couldn't quite pick up enough for the 1st down. Derrick Henry sitting at 1,500 rush yards so far this season, averaging over 5 yards a carry. Just incredible. Ageless wonder right there. Anyways, 3rd and 1 for the Ravens. Lamar in shotgun, Henry to his left. Lamar takes a snap, hands it off to Henry, who's going right up the middle, going to pick up the 1st down and then a little bit. Put them about probably the 21. We'll see where they spot this ball. 7:52, 51, 50, 49 left to go in this 1st quarter. Henry coming off for a little bit of a breather, but yeah, he's already got 57 yards on 6 rushes so far this game, so he has been setting the tone for this Ravens offense. All right, Lamar in shotgun, Ricard to his left, back in the backfield. Lamar takes a snap, fakes the handoff, got pressure coming, throws it quickly. Ooh! Juggling catch attempted by Zay Flowers, couldn't ultimately haul that one in. Throw is a little bit behind him. That is going to bring up 2nd and 10 for Baltimore. Looked like it was going to be a little bit dangerous there with that ball bouncing around as Zay was trying to catch it, but yeah, got one hand on it, just couldn't bring that one in. Ooh. And he honestly got lucky that Jalen Ramsey didn't pick that one because Ramsey was right there and that ball got tipped up. But anyways, 2nd and 10 now. 7:19 left to go in the 1st. Lamar changing the play. Short time left, going to have to snap this ball. Gets the snap off. Lamar dropping back, floating it left side. Dropped by the running back. Was that Mitchell? Yeah, Keaton Mitchell dropping that pass, had him wide open, but wait, we got a flag. What is it this time? Head referee coming over to tell us. Personal foul, roughing the passer on the Steelers, so that's their 1st penalty of the game, and it's a big one. That's going to gift the Ravens a free 1st down. It was black on that one. Oh, yep, just lost his feet, came in a bit too quickly, and absolutely annihilated Lamar's knees. Unfortunate for the Steelers, but certainly a gift for the Ravens. Give them a 1st and 10 with 7:14 left to go in this 1st quarter. Lamar takes the snap, hands it off to Henry, who's going to jump into a pile and pick up about 3 yards on that carry. Going to bring up 2nd down. Showing the Pittsburgh bench right now. Ricard is on for Baltimore, their wonderful fullback. Henry in as well. Lamar in shotgun. Hands it off to Henry, who's trying the left side and slips. Falls forward for a gain of maybe 1 yard on that one. That's rough. It looked like he had some good blocking developing there, but just, I don't know, hit a loose patch of turf or something. Just totally face planted before he could get anything going. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6 for the Ravens. 6:10, 09, 08, 07 left to go in this first quarter. Lamar in shotgun. Lamar trying to see where the blitz is coming from. Sends Andrews in motion, takes a snap, pressure coming. Lamar dancing, tries to stiff arm Herbig, and then is sacked back to the 30-yard line. That is a huge loss on third down, and that's going to force the punting unit to come out for Baltimore. Big stop by the Steelers defense. Lamar tried to stiff arm him, and it basically just amounted to him putting his hand in his face and being like, no, don't, please. Just a little double A-gap pressure right there. Overwhelmed the running back, Ali, who was in on pass protection. And then, yeah, there's nothing Lamar could do to get away from that one. So, Stout back to punt this one for Baltimore. Sends this kick away. Gets roughed up a little bit after that kick. We'll see if a flag comes in. Calvin Austin on the return, who is going to keep running sideways for quite a long distance, ultimately get out to about the 26-yard line, and that is where the Steelers will start their second drive. So, as expected, both of these defenses making their presences felt early on in this game. But we go to commercial, and I go to get a little bit of water. In the meantime, where's Dr. Ball? I got to go get Dr. Ball. Excellent work as always, Dr. Ball. Still on commercial break, didn't miss anything. Actually, perfect timing. Just now coming back from commercial. Doing a fly-through of some sort of cathedral. I'm not sure. Actually, not a cathedral, I don't think. I think, is that part of Pitt's campus that they're flying through right there? I feel like it looks vaguely familiar. Anyways, Steelers 1st and 10 from their own 25. Rodgers hands that ball off to Gainwell, who's going to try the middle and get maybe 2 or 3 yards on that. Ravens defense was not fooled by the little bit of eye candy they stuck onto that run. That is going to bring up 2nd down. We're going to call it a 1.5 yards. So Steelers get a quick snap off. Rodgers checks that one down to Gainwell quickly, who's going to pick up about 2 yards before being tackled by Kyle Hamilton. And that now brings up 3rd down. Steelers moving quickly, but not moving, far. Just a lot of sort of quick passes to nowhere. So 3rd and 5 now for the Steelers. Rodgers alone in shotgun. Rodgers changing the play right now. He's now got Gainwell to his left. Rodgers takes a snap, looking left side, checks it down to Gainwell, who is going to fight forwards and just barely pick up the first down. Gain of 6 on that play. That is going to be 1st and 10 for the Steelers as they keep it rolling. I thought for sure when he checked that one down to Gainwell, that was not making it past the first down marker. But just a little bit too soft in the defense. Gave him enough room to work with. Rodgers firing right side. It's going to be caught by MVS. MVS on the catch. Gain of about 6, maybe 7 on that one. That's going to bring up 2nd down. Steelers trying to keep this moving at a pretty quick pace right now. Really hurrying to the line, not letting this Ravens defense get set. Rodgers in shotgun with the back lined up to his left. Rodgers takes a snap, hands it off to Gainwell, who's trying to go up the middle, and again, just absolutely no room to run up the middle. He's going to get maybe a yard on that one, and that's going to bring up 3rd down again for the Steelers. Arthur Smith over there calling plays for the Steelers, and then Zachary Orr, who is, I believe this is his first year as the Ravens DC, calling the defense. Steelers averaging 2.1 yards per play so far this game. Rodgers alone in shotgun. Rodgers takes the snap, looking, firing quickly right side, going to be caught by Gainwell, but excellent tackle by the Ravens. That's going to come up short of the line of gain, and it is going to be 4th and 1. And we'll see what the Steelers decide to do here. 2:12, 11, 10, 2:09 left to go in this first quarter here. Tomlin staring on from the sidelines, chewing his gum, thinking real hard about this. Yeah, just an excellent job there by the linebacker, reading that flat route. All right, so Steelers showing tush push, and they are going to go for the tush push. Did they get it, though? That's the question. Looks like the Ravens might have come up with a stop there. Yes, the refs are saying that the Ravens got a stop, and so that is going to be a turnover on downs. The Ravens are going to get the ball with excellent field position right around the Steelers' 45-yard line. You can see they basically were counting on Hayward to just push the tight end who was taking that snap forward. And it was just, I mean, it's just tush push 101. You know, you put as many bodies in there as possible. Just try to gum up the works. Human mass on human mass. See if you can stuff them short. And it looks like the Ravens managed to pull it off, so they will get the ball with excellent field position here, right on the 45-yard line. 66 rushing yards for the Ravens compared to a whopping 3 rushing yards from Pittsburgh. Lamar hands it off to Henry on this 1st and 10. Henry goes left side, picks up about 4 yards down to the 41-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd and 6 for Baltimore as the clock steadily runs out on this first quarter. Patrick Queen over there on that Steelers defense. Of course, he used to play on Baltimore. Lamar under center on 2nd and 6. Sends a man in motion. Lamar takes a snap, hands it off to Henry going left side. Henry got some room to run and is going to make it out past the 30 down to about the 26-yard line. That is going to be another Baltimore 1st down. Ravens offense is rolling right now. They're just absolutely pounding the rock, and the Steelers really can't do much to stop it right now. Just a great blocks by Mark Andrew and Staley, their left tackle right there. And that let Henry get to the edge, get out into open space. And then from there, you know, he's hard to tackle. He's going to pick up 3 or 4 yards. All right, so 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line now. Lamar in shotgun. Hands it off to Mitchell, who's going right side and finds a hole and is going to pick up about 4 yards down to the 23-yard line. Going to bring up 2nd and 6, and I have a feeling that is going to take us to the second quarter. Yeah, Ravens in no hurry to run another play with how much they've been controlling the pace of this game so far. So that is going to send us to the second quarter with Baltimore up 7-0. And of course, that is also gonna send us to commercial break. God, yeah. 125 yards total on the Ravens to 21 yards total on the Steelers. Steelers just have not been able to get their offense moving so far this game. And the ESPN win probability for the Ravens has ticked all the way up to 81.8%, despite this literally only being a one-score game in the second quarter. Whew. Man, that ginger beer hits. Excellent, excellent stuff right there. Oh, a little Crown Royale ad. Or Crown Royal, I guess. I guess there's no E on the end of that. Ooh, going through the Steelers Museum there at Acrisure Stadium. Certainly no shortage of history with that franchise. All right, so we return from commercial. Second quarter now, 2nd and 6. Lamar hands it off to Henry, who's going right up the gut for about 1.5 yards. Going to put him at the 22-yard line and bring up 3rd down. Let's see, what are they showing right here? Oh, talking about something, I guess. But yeah, that was Hayward there on that run stop. Just a big body eating up run lanes. So 3rd and 5 now. Lamar in shotgun. Henry to his left. Lamar takes a snap. Looking left side. Got pressure coming. Rolling out to his right. Gonna have to get rid of this. Nope. Runs out of bounds. Gets dragged down as he was running out of bounds as well. There's going to be a loss of maybe 1 yard. Going to bring up 4th and 6. And I imagine they're going to send out Loop to kick a field goal here. With 14:01, 14 minutes left to go in this second quarter. Tyler Loop, the rookie kicker, he's been really good this season, 91% on hitting his field goals. So we'll bring him out for a 40-yarder here. Absolutely no wind in Pittsburgh tonight, so good conditions for kicking field goals. Kick is up. It looks like it's straight, and it's in. So that is going to make this a 2-score game as Baltimore takes a 10-0 lead in the second quarter. 13:33 left to go in the quarter, we are going once more back to commercial. Drink some water. Wouldn't be a commercial break without the mandatory DraftKings ad. All right, returning back from commercial here, showing Troy Polamalu in the 2008 AFC Championship. Lots of history between these two teams, that's for sure. Oh, right. I was like, why does Zachary Orr sound so familiar? It's because he used to be a linebacker on the Ravens. Now, obviously, they're DC. Loop getting ready to kick this one away. Kick is off. That's going to be caught just shy of the 5-yard line, or turned out to the 15, to the 20. Stuttering his feet to the 25, 30, 35, 40. Out to the 45, but wait, there's a flag. Kenneth Gainwell on the very strong return. But we will see what this flag is, because that could be bringing a whole lot of it back. Holding on the receiving team. So that hold is going to bring that return back. It was an excellent return out to the 45-yard line, but we will see where exactly the ball is now spotted after that holding. Speaking of ball, move that on over. There we go. Chris Collinsworth looking real warm up in the booth with his 5 different layers on. All right, so that's going to bring them all the way back to the 25-yard line now for 1st and 10. Rodgers under center. Got a fullback in the backfield. Rodgers takes a snap, hands it off. That's Warren going up the middle, who's going to get about 2 yards, but real tough sledding for the Steelers trying to run this ball up the middle. This Ravens defense has not been giving them anything. Going to bring up 2nd and 8 for the Steelers. All right, so Rodgers under center on 2nd and 8. Warren in the backfield. Steelers averaging under 2 yards per play so far this game. Rodgers takes the snap, hands it off. Warren right up the middle, and again, just absolutely nothing doing. Going to be maybe a gain of 1 if the refs are feeling especially generous, but that is going to bring up 3rd and long for this Steelers offense, who are just desperately looking for any sort of movement they can get. You can see the Ravens D-line got excellent penetration on that one, really forced the offensive line back for Pittsburgh. So 3rd and 7 now, Rodgers in shotgun, Warren to his left. Rodgers takes a snap, looking, dumps it off to Gainwell, who is going to pick up the first down, plus a little bit more, out to about the 40-yard line on that one. It's a big 3rd down conversion right there for the Steelers to keep this drive alive. 11:39, 38, 37 left to go in this second quarter. Yeah, there's Gainwell in the backfield, actually, not Warren. Yeah, just sort of slipped out into a soft spot in the defense, was able to be there for the check down, pick up that first down, plus a little bit more. All right, so 1st and 10 from the 40 now. Rodgers in shotgun, takes a snap. Rodgers looking, dumps it off to Warren, who is going to he's going to break a tackle and somehow stay on his feet. Slipped through about 3 or 4 arm tackles right there, picking up the first down and a whole lot more. Warren, on that little check down, gets the Steelers into Baltimore territory, and it's another first down. Yeah, just right there. Made one man miss, ran through a couple of arm tackles before Kyle Hamilton finally managed to track him down. 66% of the Steelers' offensive pass yards are yards after the catch. That is the highest in the NFL. All right, so 1st and 10 now from the 43 in Ravens territory. Rodgers under center, takes a snap, fakes the handoff, a little bit of play action here. Rodgers going deep and overthrows a wide open receiver. That was just bad. You could see that pass looked a little wonky coming off his hands. That is just brutal for Rodgers. Had him wide ass open and just skied that thing a little bit too high. Yeah, perfectly positioned in the hole in that secondary. There was not a defender in sight. It was Jonnu Smith who Rodgers just overthrew on that one. Can see he had an awkward little stutter as he went to throw that. Anyway, 2nd and 10 now. Rodgers fires over the middle, and that is going to be caught by Miller for a gain of about 5. That's going to make this 3rd down a little bit more manageable for the Steelers. 10:09, 08, 06, 07, 05 left to go in the second quarter. That's going to bring up 3rd and 6. Rodgers has been efficient so far. He's 9 for 12, but only 51 yards. The Steelers have not been pushing the ball very much tonight. All right, Rodgers motions the back out, alone in shotgun now. Rodgers takes the snap, looking, scrambling. Rodgers running out of the pocket, getting chased down from behind. Pulls up short of the line of scrimmage and gets ripped down for his troubles. Rodgers tried to pull up and see if he could find a receiver downfield to throw to. Instead, all he got was a lovely little tackle from a pursuing Robinson. That is going to bring up 4th and 6. And I imagine the Steelers will be sending out Boswell to attempt a field goal here. Didn't throw the ball, didn't get out of bounds, just got. All right, yep, so it's Boswell out to attempt a 57-yarder. Kick is up, it's on the line, and it's got enough distance. That is good. Boswell drills the 57-yarder to get the Steelers on the board and cut this back to a 1-score game. All right, so certainly a better drive out of the Steelers' offense than their previous drives, but ultimately still came up a little bit short. Going to commercial now, and then we will be back to watch the Ravens get the ball. Okay. I should really get some background music. That's obviously not going to try to do it during this stream based on the audio issues that I had yesterday, but I should look into setting that up for future ones. Back from commercial, flying over one of the many, many bridges in Pittsburgh right now. Not a cloud in the sky. We got a full moon out. Boswell kicks this one away. That is going to be into the end zone for a touchback. Ravens ball. Yeah, Ravens, they've been doing a good job at limiting TJ Watt so far this game, but obviously that is a constant threat and one you're always on the watch for. So 8:52 left to go in the second quarter. Speaking of Watt, he's sitting on the sideline right now. Lamar under center, ball on their own 35-yard line. Lamar fakes the handoff to Henry. Lamar looking, going to scramble out to his left side and tries to make a man miss. Manages to actually pick up an additional about 3 yards on that one. But there's a flag down. Let's see. One of the Ravens' offensive linemen, Falele, is down. We will see. It's going to be holding on the offense, so that's going to bring them back. And it is Falele who got hit with the hold, so insult to injury right there. Hopefully he's all right. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Had Hayward fall on him from behind. That is brutal. That is a big man falling right on your legs. Damn, and he's played 100% of their offensive snaps so far this season. That is rough. He's walking off on his own power, which is good. So hopefully he'll be able to make it back in. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, because that is scary. That is a lot of weight coming right down on the back of your legs. So Emory Jones Jr. the rookie out of LSU, comes in for Falele. He'll be at that right guard spot. So the Ravens now have a 1st and 20 after that holding penalty. Lamar in shotgun, Henry behind him. Lamar hands it off to Henry, who's trying the right side and is going to make one man miss, pick up about 3 yards. That's going to bring up 2nd and 17 for the Ravens. 8:15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 8:10 left to go in the second quarter here. Ravens looking to get back on schedule after that big holding penalty pushed them back. 2nd and 17 from their own 28-yard line. Lamar in shotgun, back lined up to his left. Lamar sends Flowers in motion, takes a snap. Lamar under pressure, fakes the throw, scrambling, trying to outrun the pursuers, but is going to get dragged down by Highsmith. It's going to be a loss of about 3 on that play, and that is going to bring up 3rd and very long for the Ravens. So that's the Steelers' 3rd sack so far this game. They have been getting after Lamar. Yeah, it looks like the Ravens wanted to set up a little running back screen there, but just it kind of broke down with Highsmith jumping right up into that passing lane. Lamar tried to make some magic happen himself and just couldn't quite make it work. So 3rd and 20 now from the 25-yard line. Lamar takes a snap and just hands it off to Derrick Henry, who's going to pick up about 6 yards, but be well short of the first down marker. So that's going to bring 4th down, and that is going to bring out the punting unit for the Ravens. So the Steelers defense, get a big stop, keep this a 1-score game. They're going to get the ball back to their offense to maybe do something with. Stout back to punt this one away for the Ravens. Snap is off. Kick is away. That's got a whole bunch of distance on that punt. Return to the 15 and is going to get swallowed up right at about the 17-yard line. Absolutely zero room to run on that return. And so we are going to commercial. It will be Steelers ball when we come back with 6:10 left to go in the second quarter. And of course, the NFL draft in 2026 is going to be in Pittsburgh, so we got about 100 days until that kicks off. Okay. All right, returning back from commercial now, and they are breaking down all of Aaron Rodgers' career stats, which, while certainly gaudy, are not necessarily going to help the Steelers this season. All right, but speaking of, Steelers with the ball now on their own 17-yard line. Rodgers under center, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, getting pressure, throws it right side, and that is broken up. Excellent coverage by Marlon Humphrey on that one, getting a hand on it and forcing 2nd and 10. Whew. Looked like it might have been a big gain, but excellent coverage by the safety, Marlon Humphrey. So let's see, the Steelers had some decent success in their screen game on that previous drive. We'll see if they try to go back to it. Rodgers in shotgun on 2nd down. Sends Gainwell in motion. Rodgers takes a snap, fakes the handoff. Throwing over the middle, and that is broken up, this time by Nate Wiggins over the middle. And that is going to bring up 3rd and 10 for the Steelers. So far, 2 pass plays to start off this drive for Pittsburgh. 2 incompletions, both of which, broken up by defenders. Ravens secondary has just been clamping down on these receivers. Fun little shot of the broadcast booth right there. All right, so 3rd and 10 now. Rodgers alone in shotgun. Little low snap, but Rodgers recovers. Got pressure coming immediately. Rodgers just has to get that away, and that is an incompletion. That is going to bring up 4th and 10, and that is going to be a Steelers 3 and out. So 3 plays, took all of about 15 seconds off the clock maybe, and the Ravens are going to get the ball right back. This is a veteran Kyle Van Noy who has shown pressure and then dropped off to cover Gainwell. Almost honestly in position to pick that one. Rodgers kind of intentionally dirted that because otherwise that was going to give the Ravens excellent field position. So Steelers punt this one away. It's going to be fair caught at about the 30-yard line. And that is where the Ravens will start. But wait, maybe not, because there is a flag. What do we got coming in? Refs having a brief discussion about it right here. Unclear what was going on. Illegal motion by the Steelers. So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty pre-snap. That's going to back them up, and then they're going to re-kick the punt. It was Peppers who was it was Skoranek. Yeah, Skoranek taking that step back off the line. Wrong timing to do that. All right, so now it's 4th and 15 for the Steelers. They're going to be re-kicking this punt. Ravens are showing their return coverage. Kick is away. Got a high punt. Steelers got a gunner down there, and it's going to be fair caught at the 35 this time. So basically the same effect as if they had just, enforced the penalty from the end of the kick. But that is going to be Ravens ball when we return from commercial with 5:39 left to go in this second quarter. See, that's the end of this first drink. Very fun looking ad for Liquid IV. Gonna have to start getting set up for the second drink on probably the next commercial break. Probably gonna have to get some more water too. I'm starting to run low on this bottle. There we go. Managed to mute that one in time. So yeah, Ravens have really been kind of up and down so far this season in terms of their playoff hopes. They have not made it easy on themselves, that's for sure, but well positioned right now with 5:39 left to go in the second quarter. 1st and 10 on their own 35. Lamar under center. Takes a snap, hands it off to Henry, who's going up the middle, got good blocking, is going to pick up the first down and more, going to make it all the way to the Steelers' 45-yard line before he's finally dragged down. It looked like he was just going for a lovely little Sunday morning jog out there, honestly. Super clear running lanes, just took this one up the middle. You can see Falele's back there at that right guard spot, so glad to see that he's doing all right. And yeah, Derrick Henry just took that one right up the gut for a big gain. So now Lamar under center, hands it right back off to Henry, who's going to try to go up the gut again. This time only pick up about 2 yards before he's stopped. Whole pile of players at his feet. It's going to bring up 2nd down. Fun little clip from Harbaugh's house of all the Ravens celebrating the Browns' victory last week, which kept their playoff hopes alive. 4:29, 28, 27, 26, 25 left to go in the second quarter. Lamar takes a snap, fires quickly over the middle, incomplete, intended for Zay Flowers. Ball was a little bit off target. That's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for the Ravens. Probably a little bit outside of field goal range right now. Probably need at least 5 more yards to feel good about sending out Loop to attempt the field goal. But with the K-balls now, you know, kickers have been making longer and longer field goals. So maybe you are on field goal range. Anyways, 3rd and 9. Lamar changing the play. Drops back to shotgun. Back to his right. Lamar takes a snap. Looking, going to take off. Lamar designed run, and he's got loads of open field to work with. Makes it past the 25. Gets out of bounds, but wait. There's a flag. This one might be coming on back. Stanley pleading his case, but it's going to be a hold against the Ravens. It's going to be on Linderbaum, actually, their center. Let's see. Oh, yep, just a little hold on Herbig right there as he went downfield to block for Lamar on that run. Tiny little thing, but he did grab him pretty good right there. Just a little bit too long. All right, so that's going to make this now 3rd and 17 from the 51-yard line. Definitely out of field goal range now. They throw a quick little screen to Zay Flowers, who's going to take off and get some good blocking. Going to basically recover that penalty yardage back to the 41-yard line. But now we will see what the Ravens decide to do on 4th down here. 3:41, 40, 3:39, 38, 37 left to go in the second quarter. Yeah, your defense has been holding real strong, so they're going to send out the punt unit and just rely on that defense to get another stop here before the half. See if they can't pin the Steelers deep. Stout back to kick this one away. Kick is up. Steelers, ooh, it's got a decent bounce. Honestly, probably could have bounced a little bit farther, but fielded by Wallace at the 9-yard line, and that is where the Pittsburgh Steelers will get the ball when we return from commercial with 3:09 left to go in this quarter. I'm going to get some water and get my drink stuff set up for halftime. All right. Thank you, Dr. Brawl. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, 9 of 15 for a whopping 51 yards this first half. Steelers offense has been slogging through mud to try to get anything going. 1st and 10 now from their own 9-yard line. Rodgers under center pitches it to Warren, who is going to try the right side and get some good blocking to get out past the 20 for 1st down. That's the kind of spark that the Steelers were hoping to see on this drive. Connor Hayward, the Michigan State Spartan, lead blocking on that one as the fullback. You can see just right there, ate up Marlon Humphrey. Gave Warren enough of a lane to run through, pick up that 1st down plus more. 1st down now on the 24-yard line. Rodgers under center, Warren back. Rodgers throws a quick screen, which is going to be sniffed out and blown up by Kyle Hamilton basically instantly. Gain of about a yard on that one. Man, Kyle Hamilton is just so good. That is a defensive jack of all trades right there. He can do basically anything you want him to do, besides probably play nose tackle. I don't think you'd want him doing that. But anything else on the defensive side of the ball, he can do it, man. Talk about a freak of nature. That is going to take us down to the 2-minute warning. So Steelers started a bit of a drive there, but couldn't really turn it into, hasn't yet turned into much. We'll see if they can add a few more points onto the board before halftime. As we go yet again to commercial break, this time for the 2-minute warning. Now I'll actually get drink stuff set up. Ugh. Still on commercial, haven't missed anything. Whew. We've got a defensive slugfest so far for the battle of the AFC North. Hardly surprising considering these two teams, but big game with a lot of implications. One of these teams is going to be going into the playoffs, and the other team is going to be going home. All right, just getting back from commercial now. Myles Garrett, earlier today, set the single-season sack record. Good for him. Well-earned, well-deserved. All right, so 2 minutes left. 2nd and 9 from the Steelers' 25-yard line. Rodgers in shotgun, back lined up to his right. Rodgers takes a snap. Looking, pumping, throws right side. Broken up, Nate Wiggins all over him in coverage. Wiggins letting him hear about it afterwards as well. He was talking his shit. It was Pat Freiermuth who he was covering. Tried to hit him with that out route, and Wiggins just on him like glue, breaking that pass up. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 9 now from the 25-yard line. Rodgers in shotgun again. Trips down to the bottom of your screen. Rodgers takes the snap. Looking. Rodgers getting pressured. Rolls out to the left side. Got a whole bunch of wide open grass. He's going to pick up the 1st down and then keep going a little bit after that. Pick up about 5 little bonus yards on top of that before getting out of bounds with 1:46 left to go in this quarter. Yeah, just a nice little, 4-man rush. They got sucked inside. And Rodgers, doesn't quite have the same level of mobility that he once had, but he's got enough to pick up the 1st down. On 1st down here from the 45-yard line, gets it out quickly. And that is Adam Thielen, who's going to pick up about 6, maybe 7 yards on that one. Clock is still running. Neither of these teams have used any of their timeouts so far. They're letting this one run down. So in Ravens territory now, Rodgers in shotgun, 2nd and 3. Rodgers takes a snap, looking, throws a quick little screen to Gainwell, who is going to get good blocking and pick up the first down, plus a little bit more. Steelers' offense is rolling right now as the clock continues to tick down. Let's see, do we get our first timeout here? Yes, Steelers take their first timeout right here. Going to stop the clock. Just over a minute left to go in this first half. Excellent little screen, good blocking, good job by Gainwell as well, navigating all of that traffic. I will say, it seems like the screen game has really been one of the few things that's worked, at least somewhat reliably for the Steelers' offense. Everything else feels kind of like a crapshoot. So there's 1:05 left to go. Steelers got a fresh set of downs to work with. Thielen, MVS out there at wide receiver. Rodgers in shotgun. Back lined up to his left. Rodgers takes a snap, firing quickly over the middle. That is caught by Calvin Austin, who's got the first down. Ball came out there at the very end, but he was right on top of it. It's going to be another Steelers first down as the clock continues to tick. 50, 49, 48, 47, 46 seconds left to go in this first half. Rodgers has been real efficient on this drive. Ravens mugging the line of scrimmage. Rodgers in shotgun. Rodgers takes the snap. Ravens sending pressure. Rodgers floats it left side. Incomplete. Not even close to his receiver. Clearly a bit of a miscommunication there because Rodgers was letting him hear it. He lit into his receiver on that one. So that stops the clock with 29 seconds left to go in this first half. Brings up 2nd and 10 for Pittsburgh. Rodgers in shotgun, Gainwell to his left. Rodgers takes the snap. Ravens only sending 4, gets it out quick to Gainwell on the left side, who is going to maybe come up just short of the first down. Yes, they're going to say he's inbounds, just shy of the first down. Pittsburgh's going to take their second timeout with 22 seconds remaining. Ooh, wrong one. That timeout. So that brings up 3rd and 1 for the Steelers. See, this is a big down for the Ravens. If they can get a stop here and limit the damage to just a field goal, then, you go into halftime up 4. I can't remember which team gets the ball first after half. Let me check that. Okay, the Steelers get the ball first at half, so this is a big stop the Ravens need to come up with here. Because if Pittsburgh can score and tie this game up with a touchdown here, and then they get the ball back and they can get the little, halftime double up, that's huge. That's a big momentum swing in this game. All right, 3rd and 2, Rodgers in shotgun. Gainwell lined up to his left. Rodgers takes a snap, looking left side, firing left side. That is going to be caught by MVS. Are they going to say inbounds was the tackle? So that's going to run down the timer to 13 seconds. Steelers take their final timeout. You can imagine Mike Tomlin is not happy about that being called inbounds instead of out of bounds. MVS was doing his best to work towards the sideline, but just got caught by the defensive back before we could quite get there. So there's going to be 15 seconds left, no timeouts. See what Pittsburgh can do here. Rodgers in shotgun, Gainwell to his right this time. Clock running down. Rogers takes the snap. Looking, throwing, left side, incomplete. Tried to draw a penalty there. Steelers really wanted it. They're not going to get one. So that takes 4 seconds off the clock. That's going to bring up 2nd and goal now. Yeah, wanted some sort of pass interference call, but honestly, I think that's a good no call by the ref. That's just, you know, a receiver and a cornerback being physical, going at it. Yeah, might have had Freiermuth in the middle for a touchdown, but sort of got locked in on that matchup and just tried to draw the flag. Didn't work, so that brings up 2nd and goal with 11 seconds left. Play clock running down. They might get a delay of game here if they don't get the ball off. Rogers manages to get a snap away in shotgun. Tosses it up left side, just throws this one out of bounds. 7 seconds left. That's going to bring up 3rd and goal. Steelers going to get one more shot at the end zone here before they got to go for a field goal. They got 7 seconds left, so it's still got to be a pretty quick play. And you can't risk coming up short of the end zone here, because if you get tackled short of the end zone, you don't have any timeouts left, and you can't spike the ball. So it's touchdown or bust right here for the Steelers. If it doesn't open up quick, you got to just throw this ball away and settle for your 3 points. Rogers in shotgun, Gainwell to his left. Rogers takes the snap, looking, scanning, getting pressured, and just throws this one out the back of the end zone. But this time, Kyle Hamilton gets tangled up with Pat Freiermuth. It does draw the flag. And so with 2 seconds left in the half, that is going to spot the Steelers at the 1 yard line. And now you've got a real decision to make if you're Mike Tomlin. This is your only play before the half. Yeah, that's a rough one right there. But yeah, you got a decision, you know? This is your only play, so looks like they're going to go for it on offense. Steelers are going to try to punch this one in, but if the Ravens get a stop here, then that's it. There's no settling for 3. Steelers going for broke here on 1st and goal with 2 seconds left in this half. Rogers under center, Gainwell in the backfield. Maybe they're just going to try to get him to jump. Nope, they're going for it. Rogers takes a snap, tosses it out left to Gainwell, who is going to be met and stopped well short of the line. Ravens defense comes up with a huge stop to send them into the half, up 7 points. That was massive. So that defensive pass interference ended up being a little bit of a blessing in disguise for the Ravens, as it made the Steelers go for it on 1st and goal from the 1 yard line. And that defense comes up with a huge stop. Kyle Van Noy in on the tackle, and Alohi Gilman, their safety, who has really been doing incredible work for them, get the stop, and that is going to send them into half up 10-3. Let's go reset these timeouts real quick. Damn. All right, so Steelers had an opportunity to put some points on the board, but wanted it all and ended up with nothing. Whew. Exciting stuff. We got a game on our hands. This battle for the AFC North is going to be fought tooth and claw. Yeah, showing the replay of that right now. It's a good play design, but Van Noy and Gilman just stayed disciplined, sniffed that one out, stuffed that thing well short. Absolutely nothing doing on that play. Damn. All right. Well, let's go. Let's make round number 2. Gonna start off as always, as is this drink, with 3/4 of an ounce of Reposado tequila. And then adding to that 3/4 of an ounce of our rye whiskey. I'm actually starting to run low on this bottle. I'm gonna have to get a new bottle of this pretty soon. It's a whole bunch of recipes that call for rye, so it gets used up pretty quickly. half an ounce of our mezcal. Come on. There we go. Woo. Easy there. Half an ounce of our lime juice. Now let me see. Let me check. I think I can check without taking off my mic. Yeah, I can. Let me check the cabinet real quick. See, do I have any agave syrup in here? I think I might. Yeah, here we go. I got a little bit of agave nectar. Let's see if adding a touch of this in here can help get rid of some of those off notes in there. I'm just going to do a 1/4 ounce. I don't want to add too much sweetness because I don't think that's really what this drink needs. But I am just kind of curious. I do just kind of want to check and see if that helps the issue we're having there. All right. So, made our little modification. Then, of course, we are going to add our 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Speaking of, I think that's basically it for the bottle. I think that bottle's dead. So we're going to shake this up now. All right. Go and strain that into our lovely highball. And top off with our ginger beer. I'm gonna have to top that again with some more ginger beer because obviously adding that syrup added a little bit of extra volume to this drink. So we're not quite getting as much ginger beer as we should. Okay, that certainly backs up. Oh, they're showing the slate of the wild card games right now, which I will not be streaming because I will be in Florida. Got the Rams taking on the Panthers and Packers rematching the Bears for the 3rd time this season on Saturday. And then Bills, Jags, 49ers, Eagles, and Patriots, Chargers. The Texans will take on whoever wins this game. We've got a whole bunch of good matchups to look forward to next weekend. Let's see. So adding the sweetness really confirms to me that, yeah, the sort of soapiness that I'm getting is some of those agave notes. It's something in the agave playing with something weird in the rye and doing just something not great there. It's definitely like, because the sweetness makes it a little bit smoother of a drink. You know, it rounds off a little bit of the harshness to it. But it doesn't address that like underlying contrast. There's still kind of that weird like note in there. It's just being covered up a bit more effectively here in this drink. So, mixed results there on that modification. Broncos locking up that first round bye with their win earlier today over the Chargers. We'll see if that actually, pays off for them in the playoffs. Oh, and Falcons fans rejoice. Your wishes have been answered. Raheem Morris, as well as the GM, have been fired. No, a lot of Falcons fans were clamoring for that. God, speaking of, though, Falcons fans, obviously that's always going to feel good, but I think you are kind of in draft hell for at least this year. So let me see. Let me check the draft order. Yikes. Yeah, so not only, did the Falcons not have a great year this year, but honestly, there is part of me that kind of wonders, I could see someone wanting to be head coach for the Falcons, right? Because their roster has problems, but it does also have a lot of potential to it. There's a lot of upside, and young talent on the Falcons roster right now. But in terms of general manager, who wants to come into that role where the Falcons, had this rough season and then can't even look forward to the draft because they have the lowest total draft value of any team in the NFL. Not, any team that's not in the playoffs or any team with a winning record, a losing record. Any team in the NFL, Falcons have the least amount of draft capital going into this draft. Because obviously the Rams hold their first round pick, and then they've got a second, a third, and a fourth rounder, no fifth rounder, and then just a sixth and a seventh rounder. So, yeah, that is a rough situation to be coming into as a GM. You should be picking 12th, finding some, key talent to build around, but instead you've got basically nothing to work with. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Keep topping this off with more ginger beer. Showing previews for the new season of The Traitors. I know people who really love that show. I have never watched it, but dear God, do the gays love it. The gays do love themselves some Traitors. That is, 2026 might be off to a rough start, but at least there's a whole bunch of good shows coming out. Recapping the first half right now. Yeah, just that one touchdown for the Ravens and then a field goal apiece, and that's been it. It has been a slog fest. It feels honestly in many ways kind of similar to the Lions-Bears game earlier today, where it was just like, yep, each of these teams will break occasionally, and it's just a matter of, which one breaks worse and at the, more opportune moment. Derrick Henry been having a very good game so far on the ground. Lamar Jackson, not as much. Of course, Aaron Rodgers has also failed to crack 100 yards. Hasn't completed a single pass more than 10 yards downfield, and 99 yards of the Steelers' offense has come on yards after the catch. So they are dinking and dunking, trying to set up screens. That deep ball just has not been there at all this game, and honestly, not really there much at all this season. We get ready for quarter 3. Loop gets ready to kick this one off. Kick is away, and we are off. Field at the 5-yard line, returned out to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. Warren gets tripped up, ends up at the 35-yard line. I think they'll spot him a little bit short of that. And we are off. Quarter 3 has begun. Steelers with the ball first. See if they can put together a more successful drive than most of the previous ones. Ravens are 5-1 so far this year when leading at halftime, so certainly a good start for Baltimore. All right, so they spot him at the 33-yard line where the Steelers will start. Rodgers under center, Warren in the backfield. Rodgers takes a snap, tosses it to Warren, who's trying the left side. He's going to find a crease and pick up about 9 yards on that run. Strong opening run from Warren. That's going to bring up second down and about 1. This makes it 6 straight quarters for Rodgers without an offensive touchdown. That ties the longest streak of his career. Oof. Rip to the Steelers. All right, so 2nd and 1, Rodgers back up under center. Warren in the backfield. Sends Thielen in motion. Rodgers takes the snap, hands it off to Warren, who is going to punch forward and pick up the first down. But not a whole lot there. Going to gain maybe 3 on that one. But hey, it gets the first down, keeps the chains moving, keeps the offense on schedule as we are 13, 58, 57, 56, 55, 54 left to go in this third quarter. Gainwell staying warm on the sideline. Rodgers in shotgun now in this 1st and 10. Warren to his left. Rodgers audibling the play. Takes the snap. Pressure coming from the Ravens. Rodgers throws over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Thielen. Thielen desperately wants a flag. Is not going to get it. Steelers' offensive line did a good job at picking up that pressure, but Rodgers just couldn't quite deliver the ball on target. That is going to bring up 2nd and 10. Steelers got the ball on their own 45-yard line right here. Rodgers alone in shotgun. Takes a snap. Fires quick over the middle. 2 Ravens jumped that one. Looks like they might have actually... That's Kyle Hamilton who's down right now. Looks like he collided with Aloy Gilman going for that ball. Hopefully he's okay. Both jumping right on him. Rogers is bitching with the ref about something. Probably wants Hamilton for early contact, going for that ball. Calvin Austin was the intended receiver. No flag on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10. Gilman's walking off on his own power. What about Hamilton? Hamilton's still down on the ground. That is not good. Not good for the Ravens. He is the cornerstone of this defense. So going to commercial right now. Hopefully he is better when we come back. That could be a huge loss for this Ravens defense. On commercial right now, not missing anything. All right, well, we're back from commercial break, but they're showing high school basketball right now, so still a little bit to go before we get back to the game proper. All right, so Hamilton walked off on his own power. That's good to see. Gave Rogers a little fist bump as he walked off. Rogers takes a snap on 3rd and 10, fires over the middle, and that is going to be caught by Pat Fryermuth for a first down. Well, we barely had time to catch our breath before they resumed play, coming back from commercial, but we're back now. Steelers have a fresh set of downs. They continue to move the ball. Rogers under center on 1st and 10. Got Jonnu Smith lined up as a running back in the backfield. See if they're up to some trickery here. Rogers takes a snap, tosses it to Jonnu, who is trying the left side and is going to get maybe a yard. Gave it their best try, running it with a tight end, and didn't really amount to much of anything. That is going to bring up 2nd down. Aloy Gilman is back on for the Ravens. Believe Kyle Hamilton is still on the sideline, though, still getting checked out. Bring up 2nd and 8 for the Steelers. 12-20. Oop, never mind. We're looking at Darnell Washington. Ooh, who got placed on IR Wednesday for a broken forearm. That is rough. Steelers love running 13 personnel, so losing him is a big loss. Rogers alone in shotgun, takes a snap, firing, right side. Caught by Thielen. What a catch. Had Marlon Humphrey draped all over him, but a perfectly placed ball by Rodgers gets hauled in. That is going to be another Steelers first down. Going to put them in the red zone. Looking to try to find the end zone on this drive. Yeah, just Thielen one-on-one with Humphrey. Beautifully placed ball by Rodgers. It's going to set them up at about the 10-yard line. Dropped it right in there. Just a couple of old vets showing that they've still got it. All right, so 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Rodgers hands that one off to Warren, who's going straight up the middle for about 4 yards. It's going to bring up 2nd down. Steelers looking to put this one in the end zone after they missed out on that score in the first half. Thielen coming back on for the Steelers. 10:53, 52, 51, 10:50 left to go in this third quarter. It's a 2nd and 6 for the Steelers. Rodgers in shotgun, Warren to his right. Rodgers takes a snap, looking left side. Under some slight pressure, dumps it off to Warren, who makes a man miss and is going to somehow fight down to about the 2 or 3 yard line. We'll see where they spot him. It's going to bring up 3rd down and short for the Steelers. Marlon Humphrey should have had Warren dead to rights, but Warren just gave him a little shake in the open field and managed to turn what could have been a loss of about 4 yards into a gain. So turn chicken shit into chicken salad right there. Good job by Warren. And that is the 2nd play now for Marlon Humphrey, just kind of getting made to look like a fool. Rodgers in shotgun on 3rd and 1. Warren to his right. Rodgers takes a snap, hands it off. Warren going right up the middle and is going to be short of the 1st down marker. So that is going to bring up a key 4th and short for the Steelers. And the question now is, do they go for it again? Or do they settle for the 3? Have to imagine in a game of this magnitude, they're probably going to go for it, you know? They went for it before the end of the half. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be going for it now. Looks like they brought out Hayward, their defensive tackle, so looks like they're probably going to do some sort of tush-push, jumbo formation type trickery. Yep, they're showing tush-push. Connor Hayward on his center. Hayward takes a snap, pushes forwards. Did the Ravens stop them? It's going to be tight. Let's see. No signal from the official. The back judge is saying that they got it. So that is going to bring up 1st and goal now. Steelers converted that one. They failed earlier on this tush-push, but yeah, definitely. They definitely converted that one. Got down to about the half-yard line. Much better angle. Got a lot more push on that one. So Steelers looking to punch this one in, and that is not good for the Ravens defense. Kyle Hamilton coming off on a cart, heading to the locker room. Steelers try to sneak this one in before the Ravens defense is ready. There's a flag down on the play. Refs signal it a touchdown. We will see who the flag was on. I think the flag might be on the Ravens, so it might be moot. I think this is probably going to just stand as a Steelers touchdown, but we will see. It's the call. Yep, call is offsides on the defense, so that penalty is going to be declined. It is going to be a Steelers touchdown, and just like that, this game is tied back up. Yeah, the entire Ravens defense was just completely out of sorts, had no idea what they were doing, weren't ready for them to run that so quickly. And yeah, some of the Ravens players were even basically on on Pittsburgh's side of the ball when they snapped that. So defense feeling the pain of losing Kyle Hamilton, and the Steelers capitalize on it with 8:23 left to go in this third quarter. Boswell back for the extra point. Snap is away, hold is down, kick is up, the extra point is good, and just like that, it is officially tied. Steelers not going quietly into that great night. They are putting up a fight, kicking and screaming. We got an AFC North duel on our hands. They're going to keep trading punches till one of them stays down. Whew. All right. Commercial break time. There you go. All right, back from commercial. Boswell back to kick this one off. Ravens set to return. Kick is away. And it's going to be fielded at the 5, returned out to the 15, to the 20, 25, 30. I'm going to get chopped down just at about the 33-yard line. That is where the Ravens will start this drive and try to put some points on the board now that the Steelers have tied it back up. 8:17 left to go in this third quarter. But okay. So a little bit of behind the scenes. I watched the game on mute so that, none of the audio from the TV messes up my audio. They just showed a picture of Cam Hayward and a frog on screen. So I have no idea what the context for that was. Ravens' first drive, or first play of this drive, goes absolutely nowhere. Henry picks up maybe a yard on that run and is then brought down. It's fun. It's cold enough now that when players take off their helmets, you can just see all the steam pouring off of them. All right, so 2nd and 9 for the Ravens. Lamar in shotgun, Henry to his left. Mark Andrews in motion. Lamar takes a snap. Looking, stepping up in the pocket, gets hit as he throws. Ball is short of the line. That is going to bring up 3rd and 9. Steelers did a really good job at just collapsing the pocket, not letting him escape. And that is Jalen Ramsey, who is down for the Steelers. Hopefully he's okay. The secondary, man, just dropping like flies in this game. Yeah, just Connor Hayward collapsed the pocket, drove right through that left guard, Voorhees. Just didn't let Lamar escape or get that ball off cleanly. All right, so Jalen Ramsey walking off on his own power. Is going to bring up 3rd and 9 for the Ravens now. Let's see what they got drawn up on offense here. The crowd is rocking there in Pittsburgh. They got the towels out. They're making noise. Lamar in shotgun. Back line up to his left. Sends a man in motion. Lamar takes a snap. Looking, throwing, batted down. Intercepted by TJ Watt. It was batted at the line, bounced off a player, and fell right into Watt's hands. That is a huge interception for the Steelers. That is going to give them the ball with excellent field position. Oh, that is brutal. Brutal. Just a huge swat right there at the line. Look at this. It was Hayward and Highsmith. Both of them went up for the ball, and then it literally bounced off Lamar's hands. It came right back to him. Or no, sorry, it was Staley. It was his left tackle who put a hand on it and then bounced straight into Watt's arms. That is one of those moments where the ball just has a mind of its own, and it just decided, I'm going home with the Steelers today. Bounced right on in there. Whew. So Pittsburgh now with excellent field position. Ball on the Ravens' 26-yard line. Rodgers in shotgun with 2 backs lined up next to him. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Rodgers swings it out left to Warren, who is going to make a man miss and then take a shot on that one. Going to pick up about 8 yards on that play. Got punished for it, but that is going to bring up 2nd down with 7:08, 07, 06, 05 left to go in this 3rd quarter. Steelers looking to take the lead here after that incredibly fortunate interception. 2nd and 1, they're going to call it. Rodgers under center, Warren in the backfield. Rodgers takes the snap, hands it off to Warren, who is going to make a couple cuts, pick up about 2 yards, which is going to be enough for the 1st down. Going to give him a new set of downs right around the 20. Yeah, just that replaying that helmet-to-helmet contact there between Gilman and Kyle Hamilton. So I imagine he's probably on concussion protocol right now. That sucks. That is rough. Yeah, being evaluated for concussion. Steelers got the ball on the 15-yard line. Rodgers under center. Warren in the backfield. Rodgers takes a snap, hands it off. Warren going right up the middle, and is going to pick up about 6, maybe 7 yards on that one. Going to make it down inside the 10. So Steelers having a lot more success running the ball now that Kyle Hamilton isn't there to sort of serve as the jack of all trades to plug holes in that run game. See if the Ravens can stop the bleeding. It's going to bring up 2nd and 3 now for the Steelers. Showing the same exact formation as they used on the previous play. This time, though, Rodgers trying to motion Thielen for a little bit. Rodgers takes the snap, hands it off. Warren going left side, going to get met at the line of scrimmage by Gilman. Spin out of that, pick up maybe a yard or 2. That is going to bring up 3rd down now for the Steelers. All right, so 3rd and 2 for the Steelers. Big 3rd down here. Ravens trying to stop the bleeding, trying to hold them to just a field goal after that interception. Rodgers in shotgun, Gainwell to his left. Rodgers changing the play. And is just going to let the play clock run down and then take their first timeout. Guess he didn't like what the defense was showing there. Not sure entirely what happened, but it's going to be the first timeout with 4 minutes and 37 seconds left to go in this third quarter. And I imagine they are probably going to send us to commercial. Oh, never mind. We're not. We're staying here. We're staying here with the action. Rodgers huddling up by the sideline with Arthur Smith, trying to figure out what the play call is in this key third down right here. All right, so Gainwell on for the Steelers, Warren on the sideline. Rodgers breaks the huddle. In shotgun with Gainwell to his left. Ravens mugging the line of scrimmage. Play clock running down. Rodgers gets the snap off, looking left side. Pressure coming, throws it over the middle, and that is going to be incomplete, intended for Pat Freiermuth. Good coverage by Loie Gilman on that one. And that is going to bring up 4th and 2. Gilman and Freiermuth getting into it after the play a little bit, jawing at each other. Yeah, I think that's a good no call right there. They're both hand fighting. They're both getting a little bit grabby. So the Steelers are going to send out Boswell to kick the little chip shot. Boswell sends it up and through, and that is going to give the Steelers their first lead of the game, 13-10. Couldn't quite find the end zone. Ravens came up with a big stop there, but a lead is a lead, and in a slugfest like this game, you're going to take any points you can get your hands on because they do not come easy in this kind of matchup. All right, commercial break now. When we return, it will be the Ravens' ball and their chance to try to answer that score from the Steelers and retake the lead. All right, back from commercial now, breaking down the incredible season that Derrick Henry has been having. Damn, 135 rush yards per game in December this year. That is nuts. And he's been off to a hot start so far in this game. The Steelers have been decently successful in bottling him up this second half, but he's already broken 100 yards. Kick is away. It's going to be returned out to the 20, cutting around the 25, and is going to get just short of the 25, actually. And Steelers are jumping on it like maybe the ball came out there at the very end. We'll see. They're cut into replays of Derrick Henry running earlier in this game. No signal from the refs yet. But it's looking like it's going to be Baltimore ball. Let's see. Was Ali getting dragged down? Did the ball come out? Looks like knees on the ground there. Then the ball came out. It is bang, bang, but Baltimore gets the ball and immediately makes the point moot by sending Derrick Henry right up the middle for a gain of 2, maybe 3 yards on that first play. It's going to bring up second down. Yeah, so Derrick Henry's still been averaging 5 yards so far in this per carry after the first quarter, which was really good, but slowed down a little bit. 2nd and 8, Lamar hands it off to Derrick Henry. He's trying the left side, gets some decent blocking, breaks through a tackle, and is going to pick up the first down plus a little extra. That's going to be a new set of downs for the Ravens as Derrick Henry gains about 9 yards on that play. Got a much better set of running lanes, hit the crease, broke through an arm tackle, just powered his way through to the first down. It's exactly what Baltimore needs to stay in this game. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Lamar under center takes the snap, tosses it to the left side to Mitchell, who is going to get met behind the line. That's going to be a loss of 1 yard on the play. Steelers were not budging. They were ready right there to make a play on the ball. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11 for the Ravens. Alex Highsmith on the tackle there. Yeah, just absolutely bullied Walker, the wide receiver. Got right into the backfield, swallowed up Keaton Mitchell before he could get back to the line. All right, so Lamar in shotgun now in 2nd and 11. Derrick Henry to his left. Lamar takes the snap. Looks like it's going to be a false start on the Ravens. Yep. False start on the Ravens. That's going to back them up another 5 yards. And that one was on Devontae Walker. So Walker got bullied off his block on the first play of this set of downs. And then a false start here. So that's got them facing a 2nd and 16 now. Harbaugh just kind of sadly shaking his head over on the sideline. All right, so 2:23, 22, 21, 2:20 left to go in this third quarter. It's 2nd and 16. Lamar in shotgun, Henry to his left. Lamar takes the snap, looking, tries to just dump it off to Henry, but Steelers get a hand on it, break that one up, and that is going to bring up 3rd and 16. That was Lee who got a hand on that one. Ravens, man. Ravens offense is looking like the Steelers offense did in the first half. Just could not get anything going. Steelers are just swatting any pass that Lamar dares to throw. Ugh. All right, 3rd and 16 now. Ravens are 2 of 8 on 3rd down conversions so far in this game. Lamar in shotgun takes a snap. Dropping, got time in the pocket, throws over the middle. That's going to be caught by Mark Andrews, but he is going to be well short of the line of gain. He's going to pick up maybe 10 yards on that, but still about 6 yards short of where he needed to get. And so the Ravens are going to be sending out the punting unit, and the Steelers will get a chance to pad their lead a little bit. See TJ Watt getting chipped to high hell on that pass rush. Stout back to kick this one away for the Ravens. Play clock running down. Got to snap this ball. Ravens get it off just barely in time. Stout sends the punt away. And it's going to drop inside the 10, take a friendly bounce to the Steelers, but Ravens get on it pretty quickly. Steelers are going to get the ball at the 11-yard line. So much further to go on this next drive than they had to go on their last one. But the 1 and 4 seconds left, we're going to go to commercial. Woo! All right, so this game is turned. It was, all Baltimore early on in this game, but now it is the Steelers starting to run the show. Winter Olympics coming up. I keep forgetting that they're coming up. February 6th, about a month away from the Winter Olympics. Be interesting to watch. Help get through the slower months, after the end of the NFL season, but before we really start getting into the peak of draft coverage. That slow, late February, early March kind of time frame. Showing the Amex ad right now, which really does just feel like a big, how many flexes can we fit into a single ad? Showing Connor Hayward highlights or coming back from ad. Love to see it. All right, Rodgers in shotgun, 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Back lined up to his left. Sends Thielen in motion. Rodgers hands it off to Gainwell, who's going to go to the right side and is going to pick up 4-ish yards. See where exactly they said he went out of bounds. All right, they're going to call it 6 yards, so it's going to be 2nd and 4 for the Steelers. Time steadily running down in this third quarter. Rodgers in shotgun, back lined up to his right. Rodgers takes the snap, looking, dumps it off right side. That is going to be a gain of about 5 yards there. There's a little tight end screen to Freiermuth. And that's going to be enough for the first down, and that is going to take us to the fourth quarter. Steelers not desperate to run another play. And there's the official news. Kyle Hamilton officially out for the rest of this game. Potentially, out for the rest of the season if the Ravens can't stop the bleeding and get the ball back here in this fourth quarter. Just like that, we had just returned from commercial break, and we are going once more right back as we tick over into the fourth quarter. Ba-ba-da-bum. So yeah, compared to earlier where it was 121 total yards from the Ravens to only like 25 on the Steelers. Steelers now have more yards than the Ravens, more first down, fewer penalties. They have just been really controlling this game in the second half. So we'll see. We'll see if the Ravens can, find some of that early game momentum that they had in this fourth quarter. Or if Pittsburgh's just going to run away with it and run with it all the way into the playoffs. Back from commercial now, doing some flyovers of Pittsburgh. Clearly recorded much earlier on in the day because it's still light out. All right, so 1st and 10 for the Steelers from the 24-yard line. Rodgers under center, Gainwell in the backfield. Rodgers changing the play at the line. Play clock ticking down, though. Let's see. Barely gets the snap off in time. Rodgers throws a quick little screen out to the left side. And that is going to be brought out by about 5 yards by Miller before he loses his footing and slips and falls. Yeah, gain of 5 on the play. That is going to bring up 2nd and 5 for the Steelers as we get into this fourth quarter. Scotty Miller right there. It's dry conditions, but we've seen a couple of players so far in this game just slip and lose their footing. So clearly, I think it's probably the cold makes it a little bit tricky. Rodgers throwing left side, caught by Gainwell, who is going to pick up the first down plus a little bit more. There's a flag down on the play, though. See who it's against. There is some hand fighting in the secondary when that ball came out. It's going to be offensive pass interference against the Steelers. So that one is going to be coming on back. They got Pat Freiermuth for that. So that is going to make this a much longer 2nd down. Yeah, drawn up as a bit of a pick play. Honestly, not a great call. Freiermuth was kind of just running his route and got ran into. But regardless, that's going to make this a 2nd and 15 for the Steelers now. Rodgers alone in shotgun, ball on the 19-yard line. Rodgers takes the snap, looking left side, fires quick. That is going to be caught by Gainwell, who's going to pick up about 7 yards on that play. Make this a slightly more manageable 3rd down. 13:43, 42, 41, 13:40 left to go in this fourth quarter. It's going to make that 3rd and 8 on the 26-yard line. Ravens defense looking a little bit tired. Steelers have been dominating the time of possession. Rodgers takes the snap, fires over the middle. And that is going to be caught by MVS for the first down plus a little bit more. Almost looked like it might have been an interception there. Ravens defender was tussling with him for the ball at the very end, but yeah, just a sort of deep slant by MVS. Whew. Bobbled that ball a whole lot, but got lucky. It sort of just fell right into his lap. The Ravens defender just couldn't quite come down with it. So it's now 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Rodgers under center, takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Warren, steps, throws, going deep, wants it all, and that was almost intercepted. Ooh. Malachi Starks, the rookie out of Georgia, right there ready to nab that one. Slipped through his hands just a little bit too far for him to haul that one in. Rodgers wanted MVS on this sort of deep double move. Yeah, a little corner post action right there. And it was just a bit too far for Starks to make a play on it. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 10 now from the 39-yard line. Rodgers under center, Warren to his right, hands it off to Warren, who's trying the left side, and is going to pick up about 3 yards on that carry. Going to make this a more manageable 3rd and 7. Well short of the line. Good tackling by the Ravens to keep him from turning it into anything big. Got to get a stop here. Best illustration of the difference between these two teams. Rodgers has thrown the ball 37 times this game. Jackson has thrown the ball 10 times. So, yeah, pass heavy versus run heavy right here. Rodgers in shotgun, takes the snap on 3rd down. Pressure coming, starting to jostle him, and Rodgers is going to get wrapped up and brought down for a loss of 4. That is a huge stop by this Ravens defense. Going to bring up 4th down, and that is going to force a Pittsburgh punt. Ravens only rushed 4, but they got pressure. They collapsed that pocket, made him step up, and just nowhere to go with the football. Had a man wide open in the middle of the field, but couldn't look downfield for him because he was too busy dealing with all that pressure immediately in his face. Pittsburgh punts this one away. Ball is up. Looks like it's a high punt. And I think that ball is going to get spotted there. The returner on Baltimore got wiped out by his own guy. LeJontay Wester got absolutely rocked on that one by his own punt coverage. But Steelers touched the ball first. Let's see. Yeah, had Devontae Walker just pushed right into him. Thankfully for the Ravens, none of their players touched the ball, so the ball just harmlessly bounced right into the laps of a Steelers gunner. So the Ravens will get the ball at around the 30-yard line when we come back from commercial. Could have been devastating for the Ravens. Thankfully, it ends up really not being much of anything. Not often that you see a returner get friendly fired. Decidedly uncanny Little Caesars ad, of course. All right, it's getting loud here in Pittsburgh. Fans are fired up. Towels are waving. We got about 11 minutes of game left. One of these teams will be going to the playoffs. The other one will be going home. Lamar under center, fakes the handoff, fires left side. That is going to be caught by Zay Flowers, who's going to pick up the first down plus a little bit more. Baltimore trying to get moving, trying to tie this game back up at the very least. First 3 drives looked really good. Last 4 drives, not so much. And that's Voorhees. That's their left guard who is down right now. He's on one knee, so hopefully it's something relatively minor. We'll see what it is. But that's going to bring us to a temporary halt with 10:39 left to go in this fourth quarter. Oop, reminds me, move this ball on over. All right, so he's walking off on his own power. He's walking slowly. Started every game at left guard this season. 7th round pick out of USC. Lamar getting everybody fired up in the huddle. All right, so it's Emory Jones Jr. replacing him at left guard. 1st and 10 now for the Ravens. Lamar in shotgun, back line up to his left. Ball on the 46-yard line. Lamar takes a snap, hands it off to Derrick Henry. He's trying the right side and is going to pick up all of about 2 yards on that one. Steelers were there, ready to make a play. Clock ticks under 10 minutes to go. Time is starting to run out here in this matchup. Ball on the 46-yard line. Lamar in shotgun, 2nd and 8, back line up to his right. Lamar takes a snap. Pressure coming almost immediately, but Lamar slithers up the middle and is going to pick up about 4 yards. Steelers had a good defensive call there, ready to bring some pressure, but Lamar managed to wiggle his way out of it and turn it into something positive. It's going to bring up 3rd and short, though, for the Steelers. For the Ravens. 9:15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 9:10 left to go in this fourth quarter. 3rd and 4. Lamar in shotgun. Derrick Henry lined up to his right. Lamar sends a man in motion, takes a snap, pressure coming almost instantly, but Lamar somehow breaks free of it, going deep, wants it all, lofts it up, caught by Zay Flowers. That's a Ravens touchdown. Baltimore is back in the lead. So it looked like the Steelers had him dead to rights. 2 guys rushing the quarterback, looked like they were going to get there. And instead, Lamar somehow works some magic, breaks free, and finds Zay Flowers for a huge 50-plus yard touchdown. Actually, it might be 50 yards right on the dot. Look at that. Just 2 guys completely unblocked, somehow squeezed between them, and then just floated that one up. Perfect touch. Let Zay Flowers run underneath it. Loop for the extra point, sends it up, and it is good. And just like that, the Ravens are back in the lead. A huge play when they needed it the most. That's some patented Lamar magic right there. Just dropped it right in the bucket of Zay Flowers. I was worried when he threw that one up that he was going to overthrow him. It looked like that ball was off target, but he dropped that thing right in there like it was perfect. Whew. I think this might be the first Apple Music ad I've seen in my life. Commercial break right now, not missing anything. Showing the replay of that play from the overhead camera. Yeah, you can see just Zay Flowers outrunning that midfield safety. Perfect situation to just loft that ball up, let him run under it, and make something happen. All right, Loop kicking this one away. And it is going to go out of bounds. That is going to be an illegal kick procedure on the Ravens. It's going to give the Steelers good field position on this key drive. 8:42 left to go in this fourth quarter. All right, so 1st and 10 for the Steelers coming on out. Ball on the 40 after that illegal kickoff penalty. Aaron Rodgers under center. Sends Thielen in motion, takes the snap, throws a quick screen out to the right side to MVS, who is going to fight forward and pick up about 6 or 7 yards. Fought off a whole bunch of Ravens defenders to pick up that yardage. Yeah, next-gen stats right now breaking down the difference that having Kyle Hamilton on the field versus off the field makes. And it is a big difference. You can just feel it, honestly, you know. It's helpful to have the stats to quantify it, but you can feel the difference that his presence makes. 2nd and 3 now for the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers under center, back in the backfield. Takes a snap, tosses it to Warren, who's going to try the right side and is going to keep pushing forwards. Looked like he was stopped well short of the line, but just kept those feet churning. Picked up a 1st down and a whole lot more. That is going to bring up another 1st and 10 for the Steelers. Gain of 15 on that one for Warren as the clock continues to tick down. We've got another injured Raven. I think this might be Nate Wiggins. Should be a big loss for Baltimore. Excellent corner right there. Yeah, so Nate Wiggins is down, and it looks like they're going to send us to commercial again. So they check him out. Hopefully it's nothing too serious for him. Dog, they're still making Law and Order? Dear God. Cannot believe how long some of these shows run for. All right, back from commercial break right now, showing off the many wonderful bridges in Pittsburgh. Ran across a couple of those. Let's see what happened to Wiggins here. Looks like his ankle might have gotten a little bit rolled up on. Had to get helped off the field. Ugh, hate to see that. Always nasty. Anyways, it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Steelers on the Ravens' 38-yard line. Aaron Rodgers under center. Warren in the backfield. Rodgers motions Jonnu out. Takes the snap, tosses it to Warren, who's going to try the right side, and is going to pick up about 5 yards on that one before he's escorted out of bounds by Roquan Smith. It's going to bring up 2nd down for the Steelers. You're not quite in need of touchdown territory yet. If this drive ends in a field goal, it'll still be okay for the Steelers, but certainly they'd much prefer to have this end in 7 points. Going to call that 4 yards, so it's going to be 2nd and 6 for the Steelers now. On the Ravens' 34-yard line, Rodgers under center. They got a fullback back there. Rodgers takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls out to the left side, pressure coming in his face, sets up a little bit of a screen up the middle. It's going to be caught by, was that 83? Looked like it was maybe a little bit of a tight end screen they were setting up there. Goes for about 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 3. With just over 6 minutes left to go in this game. Clock is making its presence felt now, just steadily ticking down as this game goes on. Ravens mugging the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 3. Rodgers alone in shotgun. Oh, looks like there is some movement on the Steelers side of the ball. See what the official call is. Yep, it's a false start on the Steelers. That's going to back them up. It is Kenneth Gainwell specifically who they got for it. And so that turns what was a very manageable 3rd and 3 into a much more difficult 3rd and 8. Yeah, you can see just took a few steps forward right there. And that burned them. All right, so 3rd and 8. We'll see. What do the Steelers have cooked up now? Rodgers in shotgun. Gainwell to his left. Rodgers takes the snap. Looking, pumping, fires over the middle of the field to a wide open Pat Freiermuth, who is going to make it down to the 5-yard line. Huge completion there. Ravens, it looks like they just completely busted their coverage. I don't know what happened there, but Steelers hurrying to the line, trying to catch this Ravens defense off balance. Now they're going to reset a little bit. Going to slow it down. About 5.5 minutes left to go in this game. Both sides getting ready, getting set. Play clock ticking down. Rodgers in shotgun, gonna take another timeout. All right, so with 5:19 left to go in this game, the Steelers take their second timeout. We'll see. This might come back to bite them, taking all these early timeouts. Oh. That was a beautiful little route by Freiermuth. Just a cheeky little double move to get that linebacker off of him. Well drawn up right there. All right, so first and goal for the Steelers on the 5-yard line, 5:19 left to go in this game. Down 4 right now, looking to take the lead. Steelers come up to the line. Rodgers in shotgun, Warren to his left. Rodgers takes the snap, hands it off to Warren, who's going to go up the middle and pick up about a yard, maybe 2 on the carry. Going to bring up second and goal as the clock continues to tick down. I tell you, the longer this clock runs, the more important it becomes that the Steelers end this in a touchdown. Under 5 minutes now, and if this ends in a field goal, then you're starting to play with fire. Rodgers breaks the huddle. In shotgun, Warren to his left. Rodgers takes the snap, rolls out to his right, fires quickly, and that is going to be caught by Jonnu Smith. He is going to be 2 yards short of the end zone. That is going to bring up third and goal. Looks like the Raven on the tackle got injured. Rodgers is livid, lighting into Arthur Smith, asking him to give him the goddamn play call already. Oh, it looks like there was an issue with his helmet as well. Yeah, it looks like the radio in his helmet might not have been working. Anyways, third and goal, Rodgers in shotgun alone. Everybody lined up, and as the play clock ticks to 0, the Steelers are going to take their final timeout. So issues on the Steelers offense plaguing them. They've been moving the ball well so far this second half, but just miscommunications, technical difficulties, whatever it is, been crimping their style. And so 3:53 left to go in this fourth quarter. Rodgers having to take that final timeout. I'm guessing, I think he's saying that he can't hear him coming through the helmet. So couldn't get that play call in. All right, no timeouts remaining for Pittsburgh. Just under 4 minutes left to go in this game. It's a huge third and goal right now. Rodgers in shotgun, Gainwell to his left. Rodgers takes a snap, hands it off to Gainwell, who's going to try the right side, and it is going to be wide open. Gainwell walks on in, untouched for the touchdown, putting the Steelers back in the lead. All right. This is getting spicy now. All right, 3:49 left to go in this game. Ravens are going to have an opportunity to respond. Baltimore has all 3 of their timeouts. Pittsburgh has none. Extra point, snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. This is going to make this a 3-point game as we move into the end of the fourth quarter. Whew. Yeah, excellent job by the right guard, McCormick, blocking on that run. Right guard and the right tackle, they just completely sealed that thing out. There is nobody there on Baltimore to stop Gainwell from just strolling on into the end zone completely untouched, putting Pittsburgh back in the lead. Woo! This is it. This is a heavyweight showdown right here. They are throwing haymakers. One of these teams is going to be left standing, and the other one is going to have to go home. The crowd is fired up right now. The towels are turning. Everybody's getting loud. Boswell back, ready to kick this one off. Kick is away. It's a long one, but it's going to be caught about the 5-yard line or turned out to the 20, to the 25, trips. And LeJontay Wester is going to be dragged down at about the 26, 27-yard line, and it will be Ravens football. 3:43 left to go now in this game. Mike Tomlin is fired the fuck up on the sideline. Next Gen Stats currently give the Steelers a 64% chance of winning this. It is still very much up in the air. It is anyone's game. Lamar takes the snap, hands it off to Derrick Henry, who's going to go right up the middle and get all of about 1 yard on that carry. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9. Play calling wise, this is where you're doing a really delicate dance between chewing up just enough clock, but also not chewing up too much clock. You know, in case something awful happens, you want to give yourself enough buffer to play with early on in this drive. Lamar in shotgun, Henry to his left. Lamar changing the play, Henry moves to his right. Lamar takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Lamar got time, dumps it off over the middle to the fullback, Ricard, who is going to pick up maybe enough for the first down. We'll see where they spot this. 2:46, 45, 44, 43, 42 left to go in this fourth quarter. Ravens can tie this with just a field goal, so they do not need to score a touchdown on this drive, but a touchdown would more or less ice this game for the Ravens, considering the Steelers have no timeouts remaining. All right, so the clock stopped with 2 minutes and 34 seconds left. It looks like they're actually going to call it 3rd and inches now. They're going to say that Ricard was just shy of the line of gain. Clock is now running again. Lamar in shotgun, fakes the toss to Henry. Got time, throws over the middle. Wide open, Zay Flowers. Nobody there, but there's a flag down in the secondary. It's a Ravens touchdown, but I think this one is going to be coming on back. I have a feeling. Yep. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it was on the Steelers. Ravens are now celebrating. Refs are talking. They're trying to figure out what's going on. It is holding on the Steelers. That penalty is declined. Ravens take the lead. Ooh! So that is the second Zay Flowers touchdown of the game. That was key. Honestly, probably a bit quicker than Baltimore would have liked. You're going to give the ball back to the Steelers now with the 2-minute warning still to go, but hey, anytime you have the opportunity to put a touchdown on the board, you put that touchdown on the board. Loop back for the extra point. Snaps away, hold is down, kick is up, kick is good. And the Ravens make this a 4-point game with 2:20 left to go in the fourth quarter. Oh, this has been such a good game. What a cheeky little play design. What happened here? Yeah, Steelers had absolutely nobody deep, so it was just one-on-one, and nobody accounted for Zay Flowers. Somehow managed to sneak through that secondary, completely unaccounted for. As open as I think I've ever seen a receiver in the NFL. Just a whole bunch of traffic coming off the line, and that meant he was able to break through into the third level with nobody marking him. And from there, it was about the easiest pitch and catch touchdown of Lamar's life. Wide ass open, going for a nice stroll. Nobody's touching him, nobody's catching him. The Ravens go up 4. Whew. All right, Loop getting ready to kick this one away now. Likely to be the Steelers' last possession here. It's going to be into the end zone for a touchback. Steelers will start with the ball on the 35-yard line. So yeah, with no timeouts left, if the Steelers can't put it in the end zone on this drive, because a field goal is not good enough, they're down 4 points, so they need end zone on this drive. If they can't do that, then this is going to be a Ravens victory. It is all or nothing on this drive for the Steelers. 2:20 left to go in this game. This is everything you want out of a matchup like this. This is awesome. Great defense, big offensive plays. All right, 1st and 10 from the 35. Rodgers in shotgun. Gainwell to his right. Rodgers takes the snap. Looking, dumps it off quickly to Calvin Austin, who's going to bring it out to past the 50, bring it down into Ravens territory. That is a good start for this offense, but I have a feeling that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. Yeah, Rodgers throws up the hand signal. We are going to go to the 2-minute warning. That is the only break that this Steelers offense is going to get. Alohi Gilman looks like he's in a lot of pain after that last play. Hopefully he's all right. That would be a big loss. That would be truly devastating. I mean, losing Kyle Hamilton is big. Alohi Gilman has been, honestly, the thing that turned this defense from being atrocious early in the season to being really quite good late season. Got a little picture-in-picture ad going on right now. Showing off all the cool stuff AWS does. All right, back from the 2-minute warning. Showing all the Ravens offense on the sideline right now. All they can do is watch on and wait. Refs are talking to Tomlin about something. All right, Rodgers in shotgun. Gainwell to his left. Ball on the Ravens' 49-yard line. Rodgers takes the snap, looking left, throwing left. Going to be caught by Thielen inbounds. See where they spot him. Clock is still very much running. He's going to be short of the line of gain. Clock's ticking down. 143, 42, 41, 140 left to go in this game. It's 2nd and 2 from the 41-yard line. Rodgers in shotgun, takes the snap, looking, dumps it off to Gainwell, who is going to break a tackle and get downfield, get past the 30, down to about the 25-yard line before he's finally dragged down. But he's dragged down inbounds, so the clock is continuing to run. A minute 20, minute 19, 18, 17, 16, 15 left to go in this game. Ball on the 26-yard line. Rodgers in shotgun, Gainwell to his right. Rodgers takes the snap, looking, pumping, tosses it out of bounds. That is going to stop the clock with 1 minute and 3 seconds left to go in this game. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10 for the Steelers. They're fighting against the Ravens defense, and they're also fighting against the clock. Can't take too long here. Got no timeouts. Rodgers breaks the huddle. In shotgun, Gainwell to his left. Ravens showing pressure. Rodgers sends Gainwell up to the line. He's now alone in shotgun. Takes the snap. Ravens only bring 4. Rodgers throws quickly, incomplete. Thielen got hit as that ball was in the air. But yet again, there is no pass interference call coming in. Steelers have been wanting those all game. They have not been getting them. That brings up 3rd and 10 with 1 minute left to go in this game. Yeah, I mean, that would have been an atrocious pass interference call. That was barely any contact from Marlon Humphrey. All right, 3rd and 10 for the Steelers. Ball on the 26-yard line. Rodgers takes the snap, looking left side, throwing left side. The Ravens busted their coverage. Calvin Austin wide open for the touchdown. Steelers go up 26-24. What the hell happened there? The crowd is predictably going absolutely nuts. What was it, a double move? Did the corner just lose him on a double move? All right, Boswell back for the extra point. Snaps down, kicks up. He shanked it. Boswell shanked the extra point. It might have gotten blocked, honestly, or maybe it just took a weird spin. Oh, we've got an interesting game now. So that missed extra point. Let's see. Okay, hold on. They're showing the touchdown. Yeah, oh, it was just a double move. The corner lost his footing. So that's another huge slip this game. Another player just losing their footing at the worst possible time. Lets up that touchdown. But then Boswell misses the extra point. What happened here? It doesn't look like it's blocked. It's got too much leg on it to be blocked. It looks like it just gets a weird bit of curve and just hooks really hard right, kind of out of nowhere. And so as a result, the Ravens can not only tie this game, but win this game with a field goal. They've got 55 seconds and all 3 timeouts left. So I have a feeling this game may rest on the leg of Tyler Loop, who's hitting practice field goals right now. All right, this is a high intensity ending right here. This is everything you want out of a key playoff determining game. This is basically a play-in game for the playoff. Kick is away from Boswell. Going to be caught at the 5-yard line or turned out to the 15, to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and then is escorted out of bounds. Keaton Mitchell with a huge kickoff return to set up Baltimore with excellent field position and 47 seconds left. That is incredible for Baltimore and exactly the last thing that you wanted to see if you were a Steelers fan. Boswell was actually the last line of defense on that kick return. Keaton Mitchell was about to take that all the way himself. God damn. All right, so Baltimore gets the ball on their own 47-yard line, basically at midfield already. Lamar in shotgun, the back line up to his right. Lamar drops back, looking, throws over the middle. That is going to be caught. Let's see, that is going to be Walker. That's going to be Devontae Walker catching the quick little out route, getting out of bounds just shy of the line of gain. 43 seconds left on the clock. It's going to bring up 2nd down. Ravens still have all 3 of those timeouts as well, so they can run the ball a little bit if they want to as well. The Steelers can't just assume that they're going to pass the ball all of these plays. All right, Lamar in shotgun, 2nd and 2. Takes the snap, pressure coming, throws. That is going to be caught by Andrews, but wait, there's a flag down. We'll see what it is. Came out basically as soon as the ball was snapped. Illegal formation on the offense. So that's going to back them up 5 yards. Ronnie Staley apparently was uncovered, I guess. Guess Staley was a little bit too far back maybe on that one. So that's going to make this 2nd and 7 now with 39 seconds left to go in this game. Ball is right at midfield, right on the 50-yard line. Lamar in shotgun. Henry to his left. Lamar takes the snap. Looking, under pressure. Stepping up in the pocket, scrambling. Floats it out of bounds. That is going to bring up 3rd and 7 with 31 seconds left in this game. Whew. Oh, this is a nail biter. It's coming down to it. Yeah, just nothing available there. Looks like a little bit of a miscommunication between him and DeAndre Hopkins. Wanted D-Hop to start running downfield once he started scrambling, but instead he just kind of stayed put. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 7 with 31 seconds left. Lamar in shotgun, back to his right, bunched to the top of the screen. Lamar takes a snap. Steelers break through, bringing pressure. Lamar under pressure, going to have to get this ball away and is going to just throw it out of bounds just before being wrapped up in that sack. That is going to bring up 4th and 7 for the Ravens. 21 seconds left. Gotta convert this 1st down right here. I'm all for a long field goal with the K-balls that they have now, but this would be a bit much. The Ravens got to pick up this 1st down right here. This is it. This is the play that's going to decide this game. We'll see. What does Harbaugh and Monken have drawn up for this situation? Ravens are going to take their first time out. They're going to want some time to really think over this one and make sure that they've got the right play call for this situation. Man, that illegal formation penalty was huge because otherwise this would be a 4th and 2 right now, which gives you far more options, especially with all of your timeouts in terms of what you're going to do. But with it being 4th and 7, you're way more limited. All right, this is it. In a very real sense, this is for the division. Play clock is now rolling. Lamar in shotgun, back lined up to his right. Sends Zay Flowers in motion. Steelers mugging the line of scrimmage right now. Lamar takes the snap. Steelers bring 4. TJ Watt getting pressure. Lamar floats it up, and it is going to be caught! Caught by Isaiah Likely at the 20-yard line with 12 seconds left to go in this game. The Ravens convert a crucial 4th down, set themselves up well within Steelers territory, well within field goal range, and with 12 seconds left, they take their 2nd timeout. They'll probably get 1, maybe 2 more plays to run here before they got to just settle for a field goal. Or kick the game-winning field goal. What am I talking about settling here? Look at that. Just a deep crosser. Lamar does a beautiful job of feathering this ball right in between the layers of the secondary, and Likely does an incredible job not only skying to bring that ball in, but staying strong through the little bit of contact that he absorbed with Jalen Ramsey on that catch. Whew! Setting the Ravens up with excellent field position. That buys them a fresh set of downs at the 20-yard line with 14 seconds left to go in this game. Still got one timeout. And all they need is a field goal to win it. All right, Lamar under center. Back in the backfield. Lamar takes the snap, and he's just going to drop back and take a knee. Ravens are going to say, we don't need to risk anymore. This is close enough for us. They're going to let the clock run down to 2 seconds and then take their final timeout. And now there is no more timeouts on the field. This lies on the leg of Loop, the rookie kicker. Can he do it? Can he send the Ravens to the playoffs, knocking off the Steelers? He's made one field goal this game from 40 yards. This one will be a little bit shorter. It does not get any more high pressure than this. These are the big moments. Ooh. All righty. Everybody's lining up. Play clock is rolling. Lined up dead straight. This one's actually going to be a little bit longer. Sorry, this is a 44-yarder for Loop. Snap is away. Hold is down. Kick is up. And it's wide right. It's wide right. Loop misses it. Boswell missed the extra point. Loop misses the field goal. And the Stillas are gonna Super Bowl. Oh, that is brutal. So the miss by Boswell ends up not coming back to bite them. Mike Tomlin works his devil magic. The Ravens fail to make the playoffs. It was a roller coaster season for them, but the Steelers remain atop the division, and they will be playing the Houston Texans on Monday in the wild card round for the AFC. Hope you had fun watching this game. I'm going to go, I don't know, clean up the bar and pass out, I guess. This was a crazy game. Oh, and I will not be back for the wild card round, but I will be back for the divisional round. Oh, have a good one. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.